Hey guys, what's up? Carlson here, and welcome to my guide on Vorkath. This guide will apply to any type of account, but it is specifically targeted towards Ironman. And for this reason, do not worry about gear limitations or high tier supplies, because I'll provide info on the bare minimum you'll need to take on this boss. Additionally, the main reason many of you are doing this boss, I would have to assume, is for the Vorkath head, which is great news for you because it is only a 1 in 50 drop rate, with the exception of the 50th kill, where the drop is actually guaranteed, so you won't have to do any more than 50 kills at this boss. Additionally, I will not be explaining how to melee Vorkath, which many of you guys probably won't want to do anyways. So some quick tips that I'm going to suggest before we actually get started. Make sure you set your house to Relica or have a water birth teleport inside your house. These are the only two ways to get to Vorkath efficiently on just about any account and not even just Ironman. Alternatively, you can use the Fremennik Sea Boots 4 if you have them, which require the Elite Fremennik Diaries to use, but they do have quite a bit of requirements to get. Make sure you have access to anti-fire potions, especially in combination with an anti-fire shield, because it is impossible to kill this boss without the two. Try to make sure that you have dust runes, because this will help save inventory spots, as you will only need chaos runes, dust runes, and law runes to have house teleports and crumble undead inside your rune pouch. Lastly, make sure you have a surplus of anti-poison potions. You'll need about 100 to get 50 Vorkath kills, and a good way of getting these is to kill unicows inside the watchtower. Alternatively, and the much better option is anti-venoms. However, like the Fremennik Sea Boots, they have a pretty high requirement, with 87 herbivore, antidote pluses, and Zora scales being needed to make them. Next up, let's talk about stat recommendations. The bare minimum stats that I recommend taking on Vorkath with is 80 range, 44 prayer, 42 defense, and a decent hit points level. 80 range is just barely going to get you kills here. It is going to be very hard, but it should still be possible. 44 prayer is for access to protect from range and eagle eye. And 42 defense is so you have the ability to wear void. And of course, both of these stats should be increased to 74 and 70 respectively if you have rigor. And for a bonus recommendation, I actually suggest that you get 55 Slayer so you have the ability to wear the Slayer staff. This will allow you to auto-cast Crumble Undead, which will be very important for a later phase we will discuss during this guide. Moving on from stat recommendations, let's talk about the gear that I highly suggest that you get. The first item that I'm going to suggest, and that I would argue is essential to kill Vorkath, is the Salve Amulet Enchanted Imbued. It is a pain in the ass to get, but it is beyond worth it. To get this item, you must first complete the Haunted Mine quest alongside the Lair of Tarn Razor Lore mini quest. Super weird name. But upon completing this, you'll get access to the Salve Amulet Enchanted, at which point you'll need to go to Nightmare Zone or Soul Wars and imbue it. What makes this item so essential to killing Vorkath is the fact that it gives a 20% damage and accuracy boost to range, magic, and melee. And the main thing we're looking at there is the 20% increase to range. This is absolutely massive. And I am 1000% sure this is why I was able to get my Vorkath kills in the Ava's Assembler in the first place. Now for my second recommended item, or rather a gear set, I'm going to have to recommend Void. Specifically Elite Void, but if you don't have it, it's fine. It just gives an additional prayer bonus over normal Void. What makes Void so nice here is the fact that it has decent defensive bonuses towards range and magic, and that it gives a stupid accuracy bonus, which in combination with the Salve Amulet is perfect for this place. Especially at low range levels, because it actually makes your accuracy and damage here feasible. Now let's go ahead and get into gear. Now the first gear setup that I'm going to be showing you is the absolute bare minimum you should be using. And after we discuss this, I'll go ahead and talk about upgrades. Now for your weapon and ammunition, we are going to be using a rune crossbow with a ruby bolt to diamond bolt switch. And make sure those bolts are enchanted. For your body and legs, go ahead and get yourself some Void. For your helmet, go ahead and match the body and legs with a Void range helm. Now obviously with the rest of the fit, you're probably going to want to put on those Void gloves. For your cape, slap on that Ava's accumulator, which we will shortly be upgrading. For your boots, go ahead and put on some Shazian Boots 5 or God D'hide boots if you got them. For your ring slot, put an Explorer's ring on. For your shield, put an Anti-Dragon shield on. And last but not least, our golden ticket item, the Salve Amulet Enchanted Imbued. This is the exact gear setup that I used to get my 50 Vorkath kills and what awarded me with the Ava's Assembler. And keep in mind, at the time I had 84 range, 84 hit points, 75 prayer, and 76 defense. So if I could get the 50 kills and get the Assembler, you can definitely do it too. But moving on from that setup, let's go ahead and discuss the upgrades you can get, as well as some item substitutes if you don't have the ones that I just put on. Now all the following shown is pretty much targeted towards normal accounts, as in Ironman you don't really have access to a lot of this, but if you have it, make sure to put it on. So for your helmet, body, legs, and gloves, if you have Void, again, make sure you use it. It is the literal best. For your amulet, make sure you have that Salve Amulet Enchanted Imbued. Again, it is the golden ticket item here. It is what makes Vorkath doable on your iron. That being said, if you don't have Void or the Salve Emulate EI, or are simply looking to upgrade from the gear I originally showcased, go ahead and follow the gears shown. The gear is in order from worst to best, so if you are looking for item changes, go ahead and pause now. Now let's talk about inventory setups. If you have access to ranging potions, make sure to bring one of those, alongside your anti-fire potion, 2 normal anti-poison potions, and 1 prayer pot. Make sure to bring your diamond bolts, and once again, make sure they're enchanted. Make sure to bring a normal Slayer staff and set it to auto-cast Crumble Undead. Alongside this, bring a dueling ring if you don't have any form of teleports inside your house. Otherwise, just bring a rune pouch with dust runes, chaos runes, and law runes. These are all the runes you're going to need to cast Crumble Undead as well as teleport to your house, which make sure your house is also set to Relica, as I explained earlier in the video. Lastly, fill your inventory with Karamwans or the best food that you have. Alternatively, you can mix the two for combo eating. The only thing left now to discuss before going over the Vorkath fight is plugins. If you aren't using Runelite, you can go ahead and skip this portion of the guide. There really isn't any game-changing plugins to be used at Vorkath. These are all more so for quality of life. The first plugin I'd like to discuss is Boosts Information. This is basically just an overlay plugin that, well, displays all your boosts. This includes your prayers that you currently have on, your anti-fire potion, your ranging potion, and it even shows your debuffs that you'll get from the boss as well. The next plugin, being NPC Indicators, is really only nice for the zombified spawn that Vorkath will shoot out. You can highlight this NPC during the fight by shift right-clicking it and clicking Tag All. Alternatively, in the actual plugin hub, you can type in zombified spawn into the NPCs to highlight box, and it will put a little overlay around it during the fight. This mainly just makes it really easy to see where it's at, and you can change the highlight color too to make it easier to spot. The third plugin I'd like to discuss is the Tile Indicators plugin. This is probably one of my favorite Runelite plugins, and I use it for the Destination Tile. By using Destination Tile, you'll know exactly where your character is going to head in the event that you misclick and you don't know where you're going, and it actually tells you exactly when you get there because as the box disappears, that is when your character arrives to where you clicked. And for our fourth and last plugin, it is Ground Markers. This is simply to mark the 3 tiles nearby the entrance to the room because these are the best places to sit during the fight. The reason for this is because it is right next to safe tiles during the acid walking phase. The tiles right next to the entrance below those 3 tiles actually are a safe zone, and acid cannot spawn there during the phase. With the plugins covered, the only thing left to do now is to discuss the fight and provide some full kill examples. So to keep it simple, Vorkath has basic attacks with different variations, a fireball attack, and then 2 phases. For the basic attack variations, there is a mage, range, fire breath, venom, and prayer disabling attack. These are all very distinguishable, and you don't have to worry about dodging these. You'll just have to use protect from range during the fight and hope that these don't get used. For the venom attack, you'll have to cure it by using an anti-poison or an anti-venom. And for the prayer disabling attack, you'll have to just simply put your prayers back on. For Vorkath's fireball attack, it will shoot out a giant fireball, and you'll have to move 2 tiles away to avoid getting hit. If you are standing on the same tile that this fireball connects with, you will get 1 hit, and if you're 1 tile away from the fireball's explosion, you'll still get hit for about half your health. There is also a melee attack, but you do not have to worry about this unless you're standing directly next to the boss, which you shouldn't be doing. Now after Vorkath uses 6 basic attacks, it will start one of these special attack phases. And these 2 special attack phases will alternate after every 6 attacks. These phases include the Acid Walk phase and the Zombified Spawn phase. For the Acid Walk phase, all you have to do is turn your run off and walk in a straight line avoiding the venom pools. I personally like to turn my prayer off as well to conserve prayer, and again, if you go to the very entrance of the arena, there's no possible spawns for venom pools there. For the zombified spawn phase, you are going to use your Slayer staff with Crumble Undead set to autocast and simply click the spawn when Vorkath shoots it out. And make sure during this phase as well to click off of Vorkath before attacking the spawn because sometimes there's a weird little buffer, as well as once you kill the spawn, do not immediately attack Vorkath until it attacks you first because you can't do damage until the spawn is officially fully dead. And with us now having covered the special attacks, let's go ahead and look at 2 full kill examples. So here we are all geared up and ready. We are using the exact same gear and inventory setup that I showed before. The gnome icon is a placeholder for a ranging pot as I have 94 range, and I want to show you guys a kill as though I had 80 range using a ranging pot. Now once again getting to Vorkath, we are teleporting to our house, which is now located in the Fremennik province, and we simply just have to run a little bit north to the boat and we are at the Vorkath arena already. Now before we start the fight, make sure that your Slayer staff does have Crumble Undead set to autocast, and once you have done that, you can go ahead and enter the arena and use your ranging pot as well as your anti-fire potion. And lastly, set your quick prayers to protect from range, eagle eye, or rigor if you have it, and then preserve if you have that as well. Now once you start the fight, make sure you go ahead and run back to the 3 tiles that we marked before, and simply just begin attacking Vorkath. Now with the rune crossbow, you'll actually notice in your 50 Vorkath kills just how important the ruby bolts actually are. In just the first couple attacks on this kill, we actually get 2 ruby bolt specs, which happens a lot more often than you think. And now that Vorkath has used 6 basic attacks, it is now going to initiate its first phase, which for us is the Venom Walk phase. Which, as you can see, once it starts, I did actually make a couple of mistakes, but I ended up running back to the entrance of the arena where no pools can spawn, and I simply just walked back and forth until it went away. Alongside just walking, I ate to full and used my prayer pot when it was needed, which is what you should do during special attack phases, as these are little free periods of time where you work on yourself, as you don't really have any opportunities to attack Vorkath. And once again, after another 6 basic attacks from Vorkath, we have now entered the second phase, being the zombified spawn. Which again is quite simple. I just clicked underneath myself so I stopped aggro on a Vorkath, I equipped my Slayer staff, and then I attacked the spawn. And that is literally it. And once the spawn died, I went ahead and threw my prayers back on and waited for Vorkath to attack me before I began attacking them. And right after finishing this phase, we did get hit with a Venom attack, which you don't actually have to worry about. The only time you should use your anti-poisons during the Vorkath fight is once you get hit by Venom for your first time. Once the Venom hits you for 6 on its first hit, it is going to roll 8 on its next, which is going to be 16 seconds away. If you hover over your health in the top right next to the minimap, it will actually tell you how much time you have left until you get hit by the Venom, which once you have about 2 to 3 seconds left, you want to use your anti-poison so it doesn't hit the 8 and actually goes to normal poison, which will hit 6 again. And with all that explained, let's go ahead and finish off this kill, which should go rather smoothly. But while we do wait, I am going to say we are only going for 1 kill trips, as our goal is to successfully get kills and get out to avoid dying and teleporting mid-kill at all costs. But if you'd like, you can go for 2 or more kill trips once you are comfortable with the fight and have better gear, a better inventory setup, or have extended super anti-fires with anti-venoms. Otherwise, just doing 1 kill trips is the best way to effectively get your 50 kills, as you'll minimize all your mistakes and honestly just avoid tilt. As I can without a doubt in mind say, failing at this boss fucking blows. Especially because each death here costs 100,000 coins to get your stuff back, and dying here honestly is just really upsetting. But there we have it, the Vorkath kill is officially done with minimal gear and lower stats. Which means we can now teleport to the Ferox Enclave using our dueling ring, regen all of our stats, and use the bank. Where I'm going to go ahead and get ready to show you guys our second kill example. For this kill example, I'm going to use a different setup from the one used prior, for those of you that can't get kills using the one before. For this inventory setup, we are going to swap out the Explorer ring for the dueling ring we have in inventory and just simply wear it. Alongside this, we're going to go ahead and pre-pot by using our anti-fire potion alongside our ranging potion and putting preserve on right now. This alone is going to give us 3 more Karamans, which is equivalent to 54 more health. And now let's head back to the Vorkath arena. And this time, because we pre-potted at the bank, we don't have to do any preparation for this kill other than checking our staff. We just simply attack the boss, run back to the 3 tiles that we marked before, and begin attacking. And this is where I'd just like to say, if you fail at this boss, don't be discouraged. With a gear like this, you are going to have to teleport, and in some cases you may even die. But you will eventually get the head or those 50 kills for it. Personally, it took me a little over 6 hours and numerous failed attempts and deaths to get my 50 kills. It honestly just comes down to luck and making sure you dodge Vorkath specials while balancing your anti-poisons, because trust me, you got this. If I can do it, you can do it too. And a prime example of this, and they're going to hate me for this, is my friend Shamans or Jaz. I'm actually making this guide because of them. They are not much of a PVM person, and it took them days and millions of gold to get their assembler, but they did eventually get it. So again, don't be discouraged, you got this, you will have unlucky kills every once in a while. I had to teleport out plenty of times, it just takes time. And there we have it, you officially now know how to kill Vorkath. So with that being the purpose of this video, I don't want to keep you guys any longer, so for those of you that have made it this far, thank you very much for watching and I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to look out for my future videos and guides, and check out my Ironman Completionist series, which will be linked in the description below. Make sure to check me out on Twitch and join my Discord, both of which will also be linked in the description. You could always subscribe, comment, and like if you want. But most importantly, I hope all of you guys have a wonderful day. Best of luck with your Vorkath kills, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.